Update: deceased girlfriend's mother threatening to sue me for equity in my home. Original post: my girlfriend and I were together for 7 years. She passed away 2 years ago. She lived with me for 5 of the 7 years we were together. I bought my home a year into our relationship. I was the only one on the mortgage, and now I own the home. I came into full ownership of the home after she passed. My name is also the only one on all bills. My girlfriend did not pay rent. My girlfriend's mother has contacted me and informed me that she intends to sue me for equity in the home, claiming that she has proof my girlfriend invested in the home and paid to have renovations done. We renovated one of the bathrooms and a bedroom, and I paid all costs related to that. She contacted me via her family attorney, who I looked up and don't believe practices this type of law. He appears to specialize in wills and estate planning. She is saying I owe my girlfriend's estate $100,000. I have no idea where she could have even come up with that number. For what it's worth, my girlfriend's mother has never liked me and has been particularly vicious toward me, including an accusation that I was responsible for my girlfriend's death. She died of natural causes. I have not spoken to her since that outburst, which was shortly after my girlfriend's funeral. Her mother was the executor of my girlfriend's estate. My girlfriend's family, including her father and siblings, have always supported me and have denounced her mother. Basically, I am wondering if I actually need to worry about this and what questions I need to ask when I meet with an attorney on Monday. My name is on everything. I can't even find any receipts or anything that has her name on it. The fact that this is coming from an actual attorney has me a bit spooked. I received the notice yesterday. Thanks for your time. Edit: by saying came into ownership of the home, I meant to say I paid off the mortgage. Sorry for any confusion. To clarify some things, no, her name has never been on the deed to the house. And no, we did not share bank accounts. I paid for everything out of my own accounts. The mortgage, the renovations, everything. She at no point contributed to these. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Did she have a will? Who was the beneficiary of her estate? She did have a will. It left everything to her parents. Was she ever on the deed? Your post mentions that you came into full ownership after her death, which implies she was on the deed. What I mean by that is I paid off the mortgage after her death. If your girlfriend was never on the deed, and there is no written agreement or documented financial contribution toward ownership, her estate has no legal claim to any equity in your home. Probate court cannot award assets the deceased did not legally or equitably own. Any claim to equity would have to go through the civil court, where the estate would need to prove she had a financial interest based on something like unjust enrichment or a constructive trust. That is a high bar without clear supporting evidence. It's possible this is more of a pressure tactic than a serious legal claim. If a lawsuit is filed, your attorney can advise whether it qualifies as frivolous and whether it would be appropriate to pursue recovery of your legal fees. Based on what you've described, the claim appears very weak. Since she didn't even pay rent, the mom can't even try to claw back that as an investment in the home. Your girlfriend literally lived there for free, and the mom wants to grift $100K off you? You should file a complaint against the attorney who sent you the letter with the Bar Association and let the mom know you'll be doing it. I'm a lawyer, but not your lawyer, and not licensed in your state. People threaten to sue all the time, especially if they think the person they are threatening has money or will freak out and give them something just so they won't sue. People hear words like lawsuit and 100,000 and freak out. Don't do that. If she contacts you again, just let her know that you'll respond to anything properly served on you, and then stop responding to her. Seriously, block her if for no other reason than for your own mental health. If you're served with a lawsuit, hire a lawyer and go from there. If it were me, I wouldn't spend money on a lawyer just in case. I say that because until you're actually sued and have an actual complaint, a lawyer can only give general and speculative advice on something that may or may not even happen. Now for the update. First, I would like to thank everyone who expressed their condolences to me regarding my girlfriend. It's been a very difficult road since she has been gone. Secondly, thank you to everyone who sent me advice and support for navigating this. I just want to tell my experience. I ended up meeting with 3 different lawyers, 2 free consultations and 1 paid. I went with all of the documentation I had, and all three pretty much told me the same thing. Unless they had something I didn't, they did not see a case where her mother had any sort of claim to try to get anything from me. We even went over Cash App and Venmo transfers, and while she did send me money through those, the money I sent to my girlfriend was more than what she sent me. The attorney I paid for the consultation offered to write a legal response to the letter on my behalf at no additional cost, with the understanding that should she move forward with a lawsuit, I would have to begin making payments toward their service if I wanted to retain them. I agreed to that. They allowed me to read their response and broke down the legal terms I didn't understand before sending it. I agreed, and they sent it. This was yesterday morning. Earlier this afternoon, I got a phone call from the attorney's office stating that they had received a response. The attorney then got on the phone with me personally to let me know that the response they received from her attorney stated that she would not be pursuing the matter further and to consider the matter closed. I know that my experience will not be typical of what may happen with others, but I wanted to make this update, and again, thank everyone for their support and advice. Mom tried to see if OP was a sucker or a rollover, and lost. People need to know, you can hire a lawyer to write a letter. It doesn't mean it has any merit or weight. OP says the letter was sent via her family attorney. Chances are the mom spun him some story and he believed her. She has now shown the lawyer that she is not to be trusted. It's such a dumb thing to sue over, to be honest. Even if she had put in money for the house, it's not an estate. It's not marital property because they weren't married. And upon her death, particularly without a will, the estate goes to the owner of it. She had no legal claim on anything. Even if they'd broken up and the girlfriend tried to sue for equity, she wouldn't have been able to. So her mother trying to do it on her behalf is just bananas. Not married, not on the deed. Even if she had put money into it by living there or adding to renovations, it just doesn't matter. It's like trying to sue the landlord of a tenant that passes because they painted the home and added a few additions. So I want to sue for equity. Bananas. Glad he got closure. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not letting my sister and her family stay in my home, even though I'm hardly ever there? I work at a fly-in fly-out construction site. I get paid very well, and I enjoy my work. But the best part, besides the pay, is that I work 42 days in a row, then I get 21 days off. Like I said, I get paid well for what I do, so I tend to do whatever the heck I want. I bought a truck 10 years ago. It has 32,000 miles on it. I'm never home to drive it. I bought a house partly as an investment, partly as a place to keep my stuff. I'm there maybe 30 days a year. I'll give an example. I just got back from Colombia. I spent almost 3 weeks just traveling around, checking out cool stuff. I'm at my house now basically to drop off souvenirs and to have a little sleep before I go to work on Thursday. When I'm done with this shift, I will be going to Japan for a couple of weeks. So over the course of 24 weeks, I will use my house for maybe a week total, just a couple of days between vacations and work. Long backstory, but it's relevant, I promise. My sister and her husband want to move their family into my house so they can save up to buy a house of their own. They don't want to pay me rent or anything. They say that if they are there, then I don't need my gardener or my caretaker service. They will take care of my house. They aren't homeless or anything. They are both employed people with careers. They just want to save up. I was considering it until they said that they would put my stuff in the garage so they could have their stuff to use, like my couch and such. I like my couch. I like passing out on it. I like my stuff in my house my way. I like that the lawn is always mowed and that my fridge has a couple of days worth of my favorite food whenever I'm in the house. I said no. I told her I would help them with a loan for a down payment, but that my house was not for rent. She is angry now, saying that people like me are the reason there is a housing shortage. I'm not sure how. I don't buy multiple houses. I'm not a landlord. I just have one house that I like to have as a home base. So, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. This sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. If you feel something, just give them some cash as a loan and never expect to see any of it ever again. I offered that. Not the a-hole. They would make you a guest in your own home and put you in the guest room. Possibly, they would have such a sweet deal, they wouldn't want to move out. It sounds like they're trying to take advantage of your generosity without fully considering you. I am willing to wager my immortal soul that they won't save a dime toward buying a home. I'm also willing to bet that the gardening or caretaking services would taper off, and soon OP would be the bad guy for making them into slaves in the home. And once they were enjoying the free lodgings, utilities, and food, it would take dynamite to dislodge them. OP's looking around his lovely happy home and saying, "You know what I could use? A litter of parasites." Not the a-hole. They don't want to be caretakers. They want to be tenants who don't pay rent. And they want to move your stuff out? The audacity is insane. You made the right call. Nah, tenants pay rent. They want to be squatters. Not the a-hole. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mother-in-law to stop controlling what we buy for our home? I'm 24, recently married, and trying really hard to build a home with my husband. We just moved into a small rental a few months ago. It's not fancy, but it's ours. Well, supposedly. Here's the thing. His mom lives nearby and acts like she still runs our house. Like full-on CEO energy. Every time I try to buy something for the place, literally anything, she butts in. Curtains? Too dark. Plates? Don't match the kitchen. I once bought a laundry basket and she said it was a waste of money because we could just use the old one from her house. At first, I let it slide. I told myself, she means well, but it just kept getting worse. One weekend, I used my own money to buy a small table and a few kitchen supplies from the market. Stuff we honestly needed. My husband was okay with it. I was happy. Then she came over, looked at the stuff and went, "Who told you that you could buy that? I'm the one in charge of the things here." She basically told me I don't get to decide what we put in our own house. Like, what? I lost it. Not yelling, not screaming, but I told her very clearly that she needs to stop. That she has her own house, her own furniture, her own decisions. This one's ours now, mine and my husband's. We're not her roommates. We're adults, and I need her to respect that. She went silent for a second, then said I was disrespecting her and stepping out of line. She told my husband I'm being controlling and ungrateful. And now, he's weird about it. He's not taking sides, just keeps saying, "Let's not make it a big deal." But it is a big deal. I feel like I'm constantly being told I'm out of place in my own home. I'm walking on eggshells in a space that's supposed to be safe. I don't even want to buy a mug anymore without second-guessing. I don't know. I feel like I snapped because I'd had enough. But maybe I was too harsh. Maybe I should have waited and let my husband handle it. But he wasn't handling it. He never does when it comes to her. So now I'm here, second-guessing myself. Again. I told my mother-in-law to stop deciding what we buy for our house and that it's our space, not hers. I stood my ground, but she called me disrespectful, and now my husband's acting weird. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Your husband is either immature or lacks balls. He needs to end this. This is completely unacceptable on your mother-in-law's part. Exactly my thoughts. He really needs to step up and draw the line before things get worse. I'd smile and agree with him. Then when she starts again, no. Remember husband said we aren't to make a big deal of this. Then smile and continue what you're doing. If you're shutting her down, you're the one not trying to make a big deal of it while she's needling you. If she has a key, take it back. Rekey the house. Stop answering the door for her. And every time she talks crap, cut her off. You're right. Boundaries only work if I enforce them consistently. Time to follow through. Better yet, ban her from your house and tell your husband that until he grows some balls to stand up to his mother, he can go live with her. Not the a-hole. Honestly, if this was my husband and he acted this passive about his mother overstepping, I would have told him to go live with his mommy because he clearly doesn't want a wife. Thank you for your perspective. I'm really hoping he steps up soon because this isn't sustainable for our marriage. There's no hoping in this. You need to sit down and have a talk. Not a fight, but a clear talk with him about his mom and her insane behavior. Next story. Am I the a-hole for postponing the wedding when my fiancé was demanding to be paid back the money he paid for his late wife's surgery? I, female, have been with my fiancé Jake for over a year. His late wife died from illness. We were supposed to be in the middle of wedding planning, but something came up and I had to postpone as a response. Jake told me he gave people money, and that once they paid him back, we'd go on a honeymoon. So I understood why he needed the money. It turns out the people who owed him were his ex-in-laws, and the money was for his late wife's surgery. I was stunned. I overheard him arguing with one of the ex-in-laws, and ex-father-in-law was telling Jake that he shouldn't expect the money he willingly spent on his late wife's surgery back. Jake went on about how much he had helped already, and that he wanted the money back. I was shocked. I tried to speak to him about it, and he got defensive. I flat out told him he had no right to demand the money he paid for his late wife's surgery back, and that it was disrespectful not just to the ex-in-laws, but to her memory. He looked at me shocked and said that I was being judgmental. From what I understand, his late wife stayed at home and took care of the house. I feel like it's unfair that he's demanding the money back. He got upset and said that of course he had every right and told me to stay out of it. We argued loudly, and I ended up telling him I'd postpone the wedding since this is how he's behaving. He stormed out and tried to get his friends involved, hopefully to talk some sense into me. I decided to go stay with my mom for a few days. My mom says I shouldn't have gotten involved in this matter and escalated it to the point that I postponed. I want to know if I'm overstepping here and whether I've made the wrong decision. Not the a-hole. Why would you marry this dude after seeing this? My thoughts. If OP gets sick with cancer and is off work, will he demand the money from her parents? Or is it only because his first wife died? He now sees it as a poor investment and wants it back? Either way, she was his wife. In sickness and in health, for richer or poorer. Sounds like he paid. She died, and now he expects to be reimbursed from supporting his wife, as you're supposed to support your partner. Also, would he have expected his first wife to pay the surgery off if she'd survived, while doing all the housework, etc.? Not the a-hole. Did her family agree to pay in advance of the surgery or something? Did she die as a result? He is a walking red flag. Run. I don't know, so I can't answer the question. He told me she died 2 weeks after the surgery.